Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Janet Yung, and in my channel I share about Feng Shui, Bazi, entrepreneurship as well as personal growth, especially in the areas of communication, success and motivation. If you are new to my channel, thank you for subscribing, and if you have subscribed and a returning subscriber, thank you and welcome back. I've just been back from a month's holiday in both Malaysia and Taiwan and thoroughly enjoyed myself and feel refreshed and recharged now. What about you? Have you taken your annual break? Have you taken the time to do reflection and set your 2025 goals as shared in my previous video? If you have not watched these particular personal growth series in 2025 where I shared my journey, please click on this link so that you can learn more about this particular journey that I'm sharing, and hopefully it will help you, especially when you're looking at your Bazi chart. In today's episode, I'll be continuing to share my personal journey, especially when I look at my Bazi chart, having the insights on how to navigate complex and uncertain landscapes, especially when it comes to a clash. And the biggest clash in our personal Bazi chart would generally be the 6 lux cycle. Now, why did I say that it would be one of the biggest clash? In the 6 lux cycle, as shown in this Bazi chart itself, most times it will involve a clash of the heavenly stem and the earthly branch of our natal month pillar. If you have been following me on my channel for some time, you will be familiar that the month pillar in our Bazi chart actually represents a critical component. From a perspective of personal values and in growing up, this is the period where it is from our teenage to our 30 plus, where we are exposed to society, where we enter the job market, and therefore it governs a lot about our career mindset, our thinking, our motivation, especially from a personal growth perspective. Now, if you're working for someone, the month pillar also actually represents your workplace, your immediate superior. If you're in your own business, then the month pillar can also represent your type of business, your clientele, and when it involves a clash from a personal growth perspective, there will be lots and lots of changes in your career mindset, changes from the perspective of your workplace, your immediate superior, and if you're in your own business, changes in your clientele or the type of business that you will be doing. Of course, there will be other things like clashing in terms of your health perspective or your parents' health perspective. But for today's episode, I would like to focus more from the perspective of personal growth, especially right now, because in period 9, there will be lots of changes, and a lot of those who are in their 40s moving on to their 50s or 50s moving on to 60s, where there's lots of changes in the skill set requirements, and if you would like to stay relevant to society, then I think it is a critical point where we need to examine and take a look at. Now, for me, the 6 lux cycle clash started in 2020. Now, before 2020, I was actually looking at my Bazi chart and noticed that this clash has got to do with a clashing in terms of the philosopher profile as well as the diplomat profile. Now, what does this mean? I asked myself. Philosopher profile is one of which it is about thinking, about learning. The diplomat profile can naturally mean either I go back to work, or it's about building my brand name, my reputation, or engaging with more corporate clients. And this was the part that I started to expose and prepare myself for this 6 lux cycle clash. So what did I do? I started in 2016 to do a bit more branding for myself, because previously when I ran the business, it was usually under Eight Treasures or under the book's names, Being Happy and Successful. I decided to then create a website, started to name things to myself under Janet Yung. That's one. Two, If you remember, I mentioned earlier on, it has to do with learning and learning about the society. So I went on to do digital marketing because I wanted to understand the digital marketing landscape, because this has been changed quite a bit since I took my marketing degree long time ago. And the next thing I did was, because I was looking at whether to bring the Asian personality profiling system to the next level by going to corporate clients. So I went for a facilitation course, went to get a diploma in curriculum development as well, to basically put the Asian personality profiling system into a course and training corporate clientele. So that's the first route that I did, because I didn't want this clash when it comes to me and with the sudden changes for me to be there like a sitting duck. So I actually took on different learning experiences and opened up different possibilities for myself. The next thing I did was also to actually write a book, because I wanted to go into corporate and I've been out of corporate for some time. So I decided to interview with my co-author 100 leaders across Asia on what is the latest and most effective Asian leadership techniques, and then basically publish my fourth book, Effective Asian Leadership. If you have not seen this book and watch any interviews that I've done with the leaders, you can also click on this link where I shared more in that particular series itself. So this is what I did, preparing myself moving towards my 6 luck pillar clash. All in all, by 2019, I started a training business. I have a platform connecting trainers to corporates. This was to address basically the change of clientele to corporates. And also the third one was, remember I talked about branding. I decided to do more YouTube videos in terms of letting more people know about the Asian personality profiling system, or the Bazi profiles that I'm sharing, for instance, like philosopher as well as diplomat. If you are not familiar at all to this, you can click on this link where I shared many videos on day masters, structures, orientations, and profiles. So 2020 came, COVID hit. So what happened? I was not able to go out to do training to corporate clients. The platform for basically connecting trainers to corporates also did not work out. However, one interesting thing happened. I realized a lot of my online reports were going off very, very fast. Could be everybody was lost as to what should be done. So everybody wants to turn inside, utilizing their chart to understand themselves a little bit better. And therefore, my videos that I was publishing on YouTube, subscription went from 1,000 to 10,000 within 3 months. So it was pretty surprising, right? So this was the change. And since then, I've been basically focusing more on Chinese metaphysics and basically taking the route that universe has planned for me and stayed on in Chinese metaphysics. So you may ask this question, what changed? Well, my clientele did change. My clientele changed from local to worldwide, and thanks to all the support from my international and local subscribers, my business model has gone a lot online, especially Zoom consultations, online reports, as well as local clientele as well. So that was the change I faced. So when we are handling uncertainty and a totally different landscape, especially when it comes to the perspective of your personal growth, I think there were some key lessons that I learned that I would like to share with you as part of the conclusion for this particular episode. So the first lesson that we should all be prepared for when handling uncertain and complex changes in terms of our landscape is to be open to any possibility. At that point in time, if you realize, I pointed out, I created 3 options for myself because I didn't know what would happen and I was ready for any possibility. So even though it took me 2 years to finish the diploma for curriculum development, and when COVID hit and I couldn't carry on with my training course, it was not totally lost, because what I learned in terms of video editing skills, presentation skills came in effective when I'm actually shooting or recording this particular video, being comfortable in front of a camera. That's one. Two is similar to being open to any possibility, is to have an experimental mindset, especially when you are starting something new and when you're trying to pivot from your existing career path or existing business clientele to the next path that might be open for you. If you have been very, very successful in career, the mindset is about having to succeed all the time. But when you're actually carrying out experiments, we have to be prepared that not all experiments will succeed. 9 out of 10 times it will actually fail, and a lot of the experiences that you accumulated will usually not go to waste. It will help pile on, especially when you do reflection, to build on your skill set when you move forward. The third is, upon reflection, I learned that it is critical for us to learn to let go. When we face changes or we embark on a new path, there will be new things we have to learn. No matter how successful you are or how well you did previously, when you're into a new path, everything is possible. So the key is letting go of your own ego, letting go of expectation that you need to succeed. This will make it easier for you to transit to your next phase. That's the third part when I learned in this entire process. The fourth, when I look at it, is actually going with the flow. Now, a lot of times we like to plan, we may have a vision board, as I mentioned previously, of where you want to go. It's one thing to have a goal and moving towards it. It's another thing to be a stickler or ensuring that you have to reach it a certain way or a certain path. By going with the flow, it generally will let you have a much better experience when moving towards it. And that's how I have actually been learning to enjoy my process since 2020, and now we are already in the year 2025 and 2 years into period 9. So this is my learning. I hope you have actually enjoyed this particular video itself. In the next episode, I will share with you through this entire experience how by having a vision board helped me, and what exactly do you do with a vision board. Because when I speak to quite a few clients, sometimes they get a bit lost as to what should be put inside the vision board itself. So in the next episode, I'll be sharing more with you. Hope you enjoyed what I've shared so far, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.